Hi, my name is Latasha Whitmore, and today I'm going to show you 6 of some of my favorite exercises that you can incorporate into your workouts. For each set of exercises, there will be 3 options: level 1, level 2, and level 3. Level 1 will always be our beginner option, level 2 is our intermediate, and level 3 is our advanced option. So there's always a way that you can progress or regress the level of the exercise depending on where you are in your fitness journey. We're going to get started with a basic squat today. So for level 1, I'm going to show you how to do it. Here we go. Okay, so here we are with our squats. Squats is for your core, your glutes, and everything in your lower body. But primarily you're working your glutes, your quadriceps, and your hamstrings, the back of your muscle or the back of your legs. So to start off with a squat, what you really want to think about and focus on is that your feet are slightly wider than your hips, that your knees and your toes are pointed forward or slightly, ever so slightly turned out. And we're going to keep the weight in our heels for the entire part of this exercise. So I like to always tell my clients to think of it as if you're sitting in a chair. So for our level 1, we're going to start by sitting in a chair in it. And when you sit in the chair, you're just going to tap the chair. So you always want to start with your hips going back first. Your hips are the first movement. So we're going to bring our arms out about shoulder width height, and we're going to leave them there the entire exercise, keeping our abs in nice and tight and making sure that our chest is nice and lifted. We're going to take this exercise back, just to feel the back of the chair, and then push through our heels to stand back up. So once again, that's straight back, hips lead this exercise, push through your heels to stand back up. There's our level 1 option for our squats. We're going to progress this exercise in level 2 by adding a little resistance to it. So to add resistance today, I'm using a medicine ball. You can use a medicine ball, you can use dumbbells at your side, you can use a barbell behind your head. You can do whatever feels comfortable for you, or all 3. That's another way to progress this exercise, by using less resistance to start, like a medicine ball, and then continuing to increase your resistance by adding barbells with plates and such. So same exercise as we did before. This time I'm going to show you from the front and from the side. So our feet are a little bit wider than our hips. Our toes are slightly turned out. We're going to raise the medicine ball straight in front of us, leading with our hips, making sure that our knees stay out and straight. We want to make sure that our knees aren't caving in. Our knees need to track straight over our toes. We're aiming for parallel or slightly lower than parallel, and then we're going to press back up. I'll show you that again. So straight back, press up through our heels. Here's the same exercise from the side. Hips lead and straight up, making sure that our shoulders are staying down, our shoulders aren't creeping up towards our ears. Our abs are nice and tight in this whole time. There we go. There's our level 2. Level 3 is our advanced option for this exercise for our squats. And this time we're going to add a jump. Now also, just like we did in level 2, there are ways to progress this exercise for level 3. So I'm going to show you the first, second, and third progression for this squat jump. So first progression is we're going to bring our arms straight out like we did before, and swing them a little bit, and then raise up onto our toes. Okay, so you want to look like a big X. So squat down, raise up onto our toes. Same exercise as before, same squat, pushing through our heels. This time the only difference is our arms are swinging down, chest is still nice and lifted, up into an X. That's level 1 for our level 3 exercise. That's the easiest progression of the level 3 exercise. Level 2 of this is that we're going to add a little jump to it. You can even think of it as a hop instead of a jump if the word jump scares you. Okay, so swing down and up. When we land, we want to make sure that we're landing softly with bent knees and rolling through our feet. So toes first, ball of our feet first, rolling through our feet and landing back into that squat. Getting ready for the next squat. Abs are nice and tight, shoulders are down. Here we go, let me see it again. Down, up, roll through your feet. You should just feel just a little bit of sound as you roll through your feet. Third one is the most difficult. This one is only for my advanced exercises out there. So here we go. So it's squat down, up, knees up, land. Same thing, rolling through our feet. Let's do that one more time. Good. Great job on those squats. Level 1, level 2, level 3, you got it. Okay, so we're back with our second exercise. This one is going to be a combination of 2 different exercises, a plank and a push-up. So once again, we're going to do level 1, level 2, level 3 in our planks, and then progressing to our push-ups. Level 1 for our beginner exercises are going to be a plank and a push-up with the wall. So what I want you to do is your feet are going to be a couple feet away from the wall, and your hands are going to be a little bit wider than your shoulders, straight out from your shoulders. So you don't want your hands too low or too high. Just make sure they're straight out from your shoulders and a little bit wider than your shoulders. You're going to place your hands on the wall, abs in nice and tight, and you're going to walk your feet back a couple more steps. You want to make sure that your shoulders are down and that from the top of your head to the bottom of your heels, you're a straight line in this. We're leading with our chest in this exercise. We're leading with our chest. So a lot of times what I see people do when they're first learning this is they lead with their head. This is not a head exercise. It's a chest and back exercise. So what you want to do is for the plank, we're just going to hold this here. We're going to hold a nice strong core, and we're going to hold a nice strong shoulders, pushing through the palms of our hands or the heel of our hands for this exercise. Once we're progressing to a push-up, we're going to push straight towards the wall with our chest and then push away from the wall with the heel of our hands. So once again, that's towards the wall with our chest, push away from the wall. Here's our level 2 plank and push-up progression. So for level 2, we're going to take it to the floor. It's the same hand placement as before. So our hands are going to be straight out from a straight line from our shoulder all the way to our wrists and slightly wider than our shoulders. Our hips are going to be down. So this is super important. We're not in a tabletop position for this push-up or this plank. Our hips are straight down and our knees are together. Okay, so once again, from the top of our head to our heels, we want to make sure, or to our knees this time, we want to make sure that we are straight line. So for our plank, we're just going to bring our chest in nice and lifted, shoulders stay down, abs are nice and tight, and hold this position. Okay, once we add the push-up, we're going to bring our chest, once again, lead with your chest for this, and then push straight back up. One more time. And straight back up. Making sure that we're pushing evenly with both hands. Everybody has a dominant hand, so you want to make sure that you're using both to push yourself back up. Great job. Okay, here's our level 3 progression. We're going to take our level 3 back down to the floor. So for this one, we want to make sure that our abs stay super engaged because that's super important. Shoulders are going to stay down. Hands are the same place they were for our level 1 and our level 2. The only difference in this one is that our toes are up off the floor. So you want to make sure that you're a nice straight line and that your head is not curved down. You want to make sure that your head is in line with the rest of your body. Keeping those abs in nice and tight. Let's do 2 push-ups. So we go straight down, push back up. One more. Straight down, push back up. Okay, we've got 2 exercises to go. This one's one of my favorite, and it's called a kettlebell swing. So in order to do a kettlebell swing, you should already have progressed to being able to do a level 1 and a level 2 squat. So you want to make sure that you have great form, not even just good, but great form on your squats before you start learning a kettlebell swing. Making sure that you start with a kettlebell that is less weight than you think you're capable of. This is really about learning the skill first and then adding the resistance to it. So our kettlebell swing looks like this, and then I'll break it down for you. Then I'll take it to the side, show you the same thing. As you can see, there's a lot of squat in the kettlebell swing. It's a very hip dominant and a glute dominant exercise. So we're really going to be counting on those muscles to do a lot of the work. The swing part comes from the momentum used by pushing our hips forward and driving our heels to the floor. It doesn't really come from our hands. So that's the first thing we want to learn in this. So as we're learning it, I'm going to turn to the side. Our feet are nice and wide, just like we were in a squat. Our toes are slightly turned out. Our hands are going to be in front of us. And the difference between a regular squat is in a regular squat, I'm keeping my shoulders and my torso nice and back. In our kettlebell swing, we're going to keep that great posture, we're going to keep that straight spine, but we're going to bring our shoulders and our torso and our spine slightly more forward, and then push through our heels, drive our hips forward to bring that kettlebell up to shoulder height once again. So let's do that again. So we have down, push up, down, drive through the floor, hips are up. This is a really dynamic movement. So you really want to think about driving your hips straight through the wall, heels are through the floor. Let's try it with our kettlebell. So we start here, push, push. Good, and one more time, straight forward. Abs are nice and tight, shoulders are down and back, spine is always neutral, nice and straight spine this whole time. What I don't want to see is our shoulders rounding forward, our head down. We want to make sure that our head is straight forward, our shoulders are down and back, and there's lots of space here in our chest. Let's do that one more time. Great job. Okay, our last exercise is a reverse lunge. Reverse lunges are a great exercise, once again, for your lower body and especially your hamstrings. So we're gonna do a reverse lunge with a tap. We're gonna add a reverse lunge with a balance. So this has two levels to it. If you wanted to progress it to a third level, you would add some sort of resistance. So I'll also show you the level 3 on this. So reverse lunge, we're gonna bring our arms out in front of us anytime our leg goes back. So our feet are gonna start together. Our toes need to be straight ahead this whole time. Toes straight ahead, that's super important. Our toes are also gonna make sure, our knees are gonna make sure that we're tracking over our toes the entire time for this exercise. So to start, I actually want you to put your hands on your hips for my level 1 exercisers. Your right leg, your left, my right leg, is gonna step straight back. Our chest is gonna stay nice and lifted, and we're gonna drop that knee to the floor. On our way back up, our front heel presses up, and we're gonna just step together again. Let's do that again. So we step nice back, nice and wide. As we're doing that, our knee is dropping to the floor. On our way up, we're pressing through that front heel and standing back up. Let me show you in real time this exercise. Now let me show you it again. I'm going to show you on the side, because what I see a lot of times when people are first learning this exercise is that two things. First of all, they're not stepping back far enough, so they end up right underneath themselves. You want a nice, strong step back. You want a 90-degree angle on your front leg and your back leg. The other thing that I see a lot of times is that people are taking their upper body forward and rounding over, or bringing their shoulders and their torso too far forward. So I'll see this a lot of times. You want to make sure that you're basically standing up nice and tall, just like you were here. The only thing that's really moving or changing is that back leg. Great job. So that's our level 1. On level 2, we're going to add a balance to this, a front balance. So it's going to look like this. Instead of a tap when we come forward, our front knee is going to lift up. We're going to hold that for a couple counts and then take it straight back to our reverse lunge again. So here we go. So go straight back, push through that front heel, abs stay nice and tight, straight back again. Push through that front heel, abs stay nice and tight. One more. Abs are nice and tight. Nice job. Level 3 in this exercise. All we're going to do for this level is add a little bit of extra resistance. And once again, you can do that with dumbbells, you can do that with a medicine ball like I have today, or you can do that with a barbell for some added resistance. So same exercise as before. We're going to keep this medicine ball right in front of us. Make sure you're dropping those shoulders. Step back. And up. One more. And one more because we can. Great job today. Thank you guys so much for watching.